WNBA Finals. And so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. I'm a human too. I have a family. I have two kids who are devastated by these comments. And so all I'll say is just, it's obviously
Everyone expected her to play the role of the quiet rookie, smile for the cameras, nod politely, and wait her turn like a good soldier. They assumed Caitlin Clark would be thrilled just to be under the lights, content to linger at the edge of the court, absorbing wisdom from the legends before her. But someone in the WNBA miscalculated. They pushed their brightest star too far, and now the fallout is crashing in like a tidal wave. Rumors are flying that the golden girl of women's basketball has finally drawn a hard line, quietly telling insiders that she's done with Team USA. And the shocking truth? This isn't just about teammates turning cold shoulders. It appears the commissioner herself, Cathy Engelbert, may have unwittingly confirmed the very toxicity that drove Clark to this breaking point. The story has shifted in an instant from patience to defiance. If the whispers are accurate, the league stands on the brink of losing its most valuable asset on the global stage. It all began with what critics are now calling one of the most catastrophic roster decisions in sports history. When Team USA revealed its squad for Paris, the one name igniting arenas and shattering TV ratings was nowhere to be found. The official excuse? Experience, they said. Clark hadn't paid her dues yet, and the team needed veteran chemistry to chase gold. But anyone watching closely knew the truth. It was personal. While fans waited for her trademark deep threes and jaw-dropping assists, the powers that be sidelined her for the entire summer before she ever touched the parquet. The message was loud, brutal, and unmistakable. Fame and fortune mean nothing here. You're not one of us yet. Yet that cold shoulder was only the beginning. Once the season tipped off, it became open season on Clark. Blindside hip checks, bone-jarring shoves, relentless face guarding, every play seemed designed to break her before the ball even moved. The infamous incident with Chanity Carter, which sent Clark sprawling, became the symbol of the league's silent war. But the real outrage wasn't just the physicality, it was the deafening silence from above. The league office looked the other way, allowing a rising superstar to be harassed in full view of millions. Immediate suspensions? Non-existent. Upgrading fouls to flagrants? Only after public fury became impossible to ignore, then came the moment that set the world on fire. Just as whispers of unrest began to fade, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert stepped into the spotlight and poured gasoline over every smoldering ember. In a CNBC interview that can only be described as a PR disaster, she brushed off the hostility aimed at Clark, comparing it to the famed Magic Johnson-Larry Bird rivalry of the 1980s. Smiling, she spoke of marketing value, of how thrilling rivalries drive the business. Not once did she condemn the undercurrent of racism and vitriol shadowing Clark's every move. It was a colossal misstep. By treating harassment as a mere business opportunity, Engelbert sent a chilling message. The league cared more about spectacle and revenue than the safety and mental well-being of the very player fueling both. The backlash was immediate. Even the usually loyal WNBA Players Association scrambled to distance themselves, issuing statements to separate the league's growth from the commissioner's tone-deaf remarks. Players like Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier had to step up where the commissioner refused to tread, declaring what should have been obvious: hate has no place on the court. But for Clark, the damage had already carved its mark. Imagine being the one generating record-breaking revenue, chartering flights for everyone, signing historic TV deals, only to watch your boss stand on national television and shrug, claiming your harassment is just good for business. That is betrayal in its rawest form. That is the kind of knife that twists loyalty into doubt. And that, insiders say, is exactly where the whispers of Clark walking away began. You cannot talk about this saga without confronting the unspoken truth, the bitter resentment of the old guard. For decades, Team USA has been a fortress, dominated by the same legends, the same circle of friends, playing a game of comfort over courage. Rumors have swirled for months that certain veterans made it clear they didn't want the Caitlin circus stealing their spotlight in Paris. It wasn't merely a matter of basketball fit. It was about ego, legacy, and control. Diana Taurasi's warning that reality is coming for Clark aged like a prophecy, as Clark shattered rookie records and dominated the assists leaderboard. By freezing her out of the Olympics, the veterans thought they were shielding their legacy. But in reality, they may have burned the bridge to the next generation. Yes, they captured gold, but they lost the public relations war, alienating millions of new fans who tuned in just to see number 22. And here, the story twists sharply. Whispers from insiders suggest Clark isn't sulking at home, she is mobilizing. After being sidelined by the Olympic Committee, physically targeted by her peers, and abandoned by the commissioner, she is allegedly pulling her energy and her influence away from the national program entirely. A masterstroke of power, she knows the truth, she moves the needle. She drives ratings, sells jerseys, fills arenas. If Team USA rejects her, she doesn't need them. The badge doesn't define her, her brand does. Word is she has privately indicated no interest in future invitationals if the league's culture remains the same. Should she follow through, the fallout could reshape the sport. Imagine the face of women's basketball refusing to represent her country, not out of arrogance, but because the system failed to protect her. The tables have turned. The league once assumed players needed the system to thrive, that Olympic glory was the ultimate carrot. Clark has proven she is the system. By stepping back, she deprives them of their crown jewel in the run-up to LA 2028, leaving the commissioner clutching an empty bag. They needed her face plastered across billboards. Without her, the marketing machine sputters, and the massive new fan base refuses to buy in. Numbers tell a brutal story. Before Clark's arrival, the WNBA struggled with half-empty arenas and limited revenue. Since her draft, attendance has surged over 40%, TV ratings have tripled, and a historic $2 billion media rights deal was signed. That money funds higher salaries, better travel, and the perks that veterans now enjoy. And yet, these same people treat Clark like an outsider, cashing paychecks written in her success. If she chooses to focus solely on Indiana Fever, she takes her talent and her influence off the national stage. The commissioner's misstep demands scrutiny. When asked about social media attacks, threats, and racism, Engelbert pivoted to corporate rhetoric, comparing it to classic NBA rivalries of the 80s. But those battles, while fierce, never carried the poison of today's toxicity. By failing to act, she implicitly endorsed it, signaling that the league values spectacle over safety. For Clark, who remained silent and professional through it all, it felt like a dagger to the back, validating every suspicion that she was being exploited for clout while quietly resented for her dominance. Then there's the chemistry excuse. The selection committee claimed Clark's fast-paced, high-usage, deep shooting style wouldn't mesh with the veterans' measured approach. But anyone who watched the WNBA All-Star Game witnessed the absurdity. Clark played alongside the league's best, dismantling Team USA with precision, vision, and leadership. The problem was never basketball, it was ego. The veterans looked slow and disjointed. Clark's team looked like the future. That was the moment the rumor of her quitting stopped being speculation. It became a looming possibility.